included in this budget over $300 million, as I understand it, for universal pre-K.
Yes.
My question,
340 to be exact.
340. And we increased the funding for the gap elimination by $278 million, I think, over the government.
300 million. Yeah, you're right. 275, 300. Yeah.
And the question I have relates to the challenge that we have in a lot of our school districts where, kindergarten is not mandated and certainly not full-day kindergarten. A lot of the schools in my district are cutting pretty close to the bone on core services. And I'm concerned that we have school boards in upstate New York, of course, throughout the state. Cities operate a little differently. And those folks that are on the school boards are right there. They know the school budgets inside and out. I don't. They know the priorities inside and out. I don't. Wouldn't it make more sense for us to put the $340 million that we're talking about for universal pre-K into the school aid formulas and let the school districts spend the money in a way that reflects their priorities? I mean, if they want to use it for pre-K, that's fine. But if they need to use the money for some other priority, shouldn't we give that type of flexibility to the school districts?
If they don't want to draw it down, they don't have to. We gave them $40 million additional for the rest of the state. So if they don't want to take it, we won't spend it. We'll have it for next year. It's a hard question to answer because it's fun to pick on New York City, but if they were to ever separate and become an island unto itself, we would find out that a large amount of money that come into this state come in because of New York City. In other words, when we look at our taxes we pay, I guess if you the big nine, if you were to take the two Long Island, the two upstate, and you put them together with New York City, probably 3/4 of the amount of money that comes into our taxes probably come from those people.
Well, I guess
that's so. There seems to be something being said that giving New York City something is something special. It's nothing special.
No, that's actually not the thrust of my question. The thrust of my question is this. When we allocate money to the schools through foundation aid or through gap elimination, restoring the gap elimination, when we allocate money to the schools, we don't tell them how they must spend it.
No.
They can use it for AP chemistry or they might use it for kindergarten.
Right.
So my question is, why are we requiring this $340 million to be used for a specific purpose, pre-K, and bypassing in the process all the school boards across New York State and the City of New York's own governance?
Well, I think part of it is because, again, we raised the number that the governor wanted to spend in education. We made sure that we gave enough money, additional money throughout the state. I think it's $1.2 billion additional money. In other words, we went looking, and we said we're going to find extra money, and we found $1.2 billion, which we put in statewide. Then we said, all right, and New York wants to do this, we'll go along with them, so we will give them this money. So out of $1.8 billion, we took, $1.76 billion, I think we took $1.2 billion and gave that to the whole state, an addition 40, so it would be $1.3 billion, I think, altogether. But you understand what I'm saying. We got and we found money, and we did what we thought was right. And I think it's important to have this program if you want it, as I said before, since 1998, we started doing pre-K. And you're right, it's a decision. If you want to take it, you can do it. But we only give you the right to do it if we give you the money for that. In other words, you can't use it for anything else but that. And this is a continuation of that method.
Changing the subject just slightly, my county has 17 school districts, and I'm not going to review the funding for all of them with you. But one of the school districts, which is in the city of Jamestown, which is our largest single school district, is actually facing about a $2 million overall reduction in funding, even with the additional funds that we've restored, the gap elimination, and some of the other programs. At the same time, I know this budget includes bullet aid, both with the Assembly and with the Senate.
Yes.
Is this type of situation where you have a unique school district that's facing a unique problem within an Assembly district, is this a situation that would be eligible for special assistance through the bullet aid?
The answer is yes, but I would use the $40 million that is separately, and I think is that the money you're talking about?
Yes, it is.
I'm going to get somebody in trouble. Your leader has the decision to make as to how it's spent as long as it's education.
Well, I understand that.
And you know what I mean? So it's, so he would, am I wrong on that?
Actually, I think it's your leader.
I'm being told I'm wrong, but
I think it's your leader that has that decision.
yeah, no,
so
but, no, everybody's going to be in the pool this time.
So my question is, should I
All
then
six
have
of
the Jamestown City representatives contact your leader and ask for consideration for bullet
Yeah.
aid? And is that a
No,
possibility?
I would ask your leader, and he'll do the negotiations. You
Any
can
way
do
that
both.
works.
I mean, the paper is paper. You can mail it to everybody.
I
Send
just
me
want it
one
clear,
copy.
though, that bullet aid was available to special situations across New York State,
Yeah.
not just in certain
Yeah.
assembly districts,
Yeah.
with other assembly districts ineligible to apply. Am I correct that every assembly district can apply? Not that you'll get it, but every assembly district
Actually,
apply?
every member can apply through their, through the leaders, because the leaders will be making the decisions.
Thank you, Mr. Farrell, on that issue. I noted that this particular budget bill included a significant reduction in funding for the EPIC program, the Elderly Pharmaceutical Program.
Yeah.
I think the reduction compared to last year was $77 million, even though we added $4 million to the program. Am I correct that we're not actually cutting back on the EPIC program, but that some of the costs of the EPIC program have now been picked up through the health exchanges or through other insurance?
No, that they're doing more. Yeah. We did what? Yeah. Yeah. We balanced experience. We balanced it. Try it again. Yeah, we did exempt. I'm having trouble with the English. Say it one more time. Expenses to the appropriation. I'm sorry.
But we're not pulling back on the program.
No, we're not. We're just balancing them off.
Okay. Now, all my colleagues are delighted to know that I haven't read every single page of this book, but I did have a couple of questions. I noted that there were a number of organizations that were listed by name.
Shh. Come on, folks, please.
That were listed by name in this budget bill. For example, on page 63, there's a number of them. The Immigrant Action Program, Make the Road New York, Asian Americans for Equality. I would think that we're all for equality, but that's a particular organization that's named. I noted back and around page 800-something, 811, there's another long list, which included a number of fine organizations, including FarmNet. And I don't have any problem with any of these organizations, and I'm sure they do great work. My concern is, does each one of the organizations that is receiving a specific appropriation, does each one of them engage, and are the funding solely related to education, mental health, children, or delinquencies? Do you know?
You're asking, is that the only thing is there, or you're asking?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, when I looked at a lot of these names, I didn't see how they fell within any of those categories.
it has specific purposes, and it can include additional things to what you mentioned. It can be programs affecting yeah, mental hygiene, something like that would get it. Give me another one. The criminal justice programs. In other words, the agencies determine who get the monies by their names. In other words, so their names came in because there's a program, and it was more than the things you said.
And the reason I ask is, as you know, I was actually accused of having a pocket copy of the Constitution, and that's not true. I do have a copy on my desk.
I'll get it for you.
But not in my pocket. But as you know, we have a specific prohibition that bans us as a legislature from using any money to be given or loaned to or in aid of any private corporation or association with certain designated restrictions, exceptions. And those are fairly specific, and I was just inquiring of all the ones that have been listed, and I won't go through the whole list because it's quite extensive, but are we confident that of all the ones that are listed, they fall within one of the constitutional exemptions that allow us to make a specific grant?
Yes, I would think so, and I think the Attorney General gets to look at it as it happens. They do it, don't they? The Attorney General catches it. I accidentally gave money to a church, and they said no, because the wall was on the wrong side of the building.
Gotcha.
Well,
thank you very much. I appreciate your comments and observations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.